What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing today? Whew, still trying to get ready. I was a little late. Got off a late call, but hopefully you guys are doing well. How you guys doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're not sure where you are, what you're doing, my name is Chris. You're on Tech Talk with Chris. Live. Make sure you check us out right here live on Amazon Live. Hey, we got a little surprise. We got the YouTube side going today, so they're going to be watching. But we're here live with you on Amazon Live today. Today, we wanted to talk about the subject of prep, pre-show prep. How to prep your live stream. First shout out, what's going on, Lizzie? Appreciate the follow. Super appreciate that. Hopefully, you're doing well today. As you can see, the subject of the matter that we're going to talk about today, we're actually showing all aspects of the fact that this was very not going the way we wanted it to, right? So I was actually supposed to have a guest today. He's running a little late, last minute meeting, all this stuff. So we're going to talk about some of the prep things, how to get started with your prep, the type of things that you need to make sure that you watch out for and think about, as well as, I can give you all the list of the things that I did wrong today. If you're over on the YouTube side, you can always come check us out on the Amazon side so you can see the products in the carousel that we're talking about as we go through a live stream. And you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We talk everything tech, gaming, and streaming related. We want to make sure that you guys get the right gear for the right setup. So it's gonna be a little hot because he comes in halfway through. I'm gonna have to figure out how to throw him in and make sure it's all good. There was no test. So if we're going down the list of what you need to do for your live stream, this is before we get into the equipment. We got a carousel full of equipment that you can look at. Again, if you're on the Amazon Live side, you can see it. If you're on the YouTube side, be sure to check it out. There's a link in the description down below. But the first thing you need to do is, number one, plan your show. Plan your show. So what did we do today that was wrong? We didn't plan the show thoroughly. We came up with the idea that we wanted to talk about. I'm just a live guy, so I just go off the cuff anyway. One of the things that we had to talk about in this particular stream was, how do you prepare for the show? And the first thing, again, is making sure that you actually put out a plan. Like, what are you going to talk about? What do you need for the show? Do you have your graphics for the show? Do you have your name titles? Like right now, I have my name title running. So there you go. There's the name title, should be running down. It'll have, on this one, it'll have our social media down below. It has the Amazon shop, so you can come check it out, all the gear that we talk about. But here, again, what happens after you even think about the show? Personally, what happens is, and it's something I need to get better at personally, is that I don't necessarily write a show flow per se. I don't go, okay, I'm going to talk about this, this, and this. So when I'm on Amazon Live, I put my products in the carousel pre-show, and then I'm just going through the products. I've lined them up in the carousel the way that I want to speak about them. If you're doing a show that's not product centric, right? You're talking about some other things, then you have to figure out, okay, where am I going with this? What are the points that I want to make? What do I want people to talk about? That's the super important part. The other thing is, you need to check your gear to make sure it works. Make sure your software works. Make sure your gear works. Make sure your buttons. Again, if you look at the carousel, you'll see other products we use. And at any point, any piece of that equipment can decide that it's not going to work the way that it's supposed to work, right? I'm talking about the microphone. So, can you hear me? Camera, can you see me? Lighting, can you still see me because it's dark? The room is actually dark and the walls are colored with light. So can you actually see me in the room? So those are all the those are the technical things that you need to make sure of before you go live. Make sure that you have an idea of what you're going to talk about and that your gear actually works. So our special guest today is Fernando Vargas. He'll be on in a few, hopefully, barring no other things. But we're just going to jump right into this thing. If you guys have any questions, again, about tech, gaming, or streaming related, feel free to drop them in the chat. Would love to talk about those things. What we're going to go over until he shows up, or until otherwise, is we're going to go over some of the gear that we specifically put in there. We're going to talk about live streaming and the preparation that I've taken to get into this show and before I go live, and the content. And there it is. See? So real quick, perfect lesson. So what we're talking about, we were saying be prepared, right? You're listening to me talk, and a lot of my stuff is a little rambly. There's like, oh, what's he? He's kind of saying the same thing over and over. That is why you need pen to paper If you're into apps or anything like that, there's an app called Show Flow that you can get that will actually allow you to step by step build out your show. So when we did live events, we had to, I'm talking to the minute. If the show starts at 2 o'clock, right? At 2 o'clock, I'm doing the intro. I'm saying who I am. I'm going through what the channel's about, all that, right? At 2:03, I need to be going about what's the subject for today. 2:05, I need to be moving to intro of the first product or intro of the guest, and so on and so on. And that's how you actually build your show flow in that sense. It's so important because for moments like this, right? If I had done my show flow properly, I would still have the flow of where to go. I was looking to have a conversation because I'm just a conversation off the cuff. But right now, I'm just kind of like making it up off the fly because you're waiting for somebody to come into the stream. So like what I'm explaining is this is how not to do your stream. Keep that in mind. So let me get my Amazon window up so I can show some of the stuff we're using in our studio down below. Again, as you guys are coming in, feel free to drop any questions that you may have down below in the chat, and we'd be glad to answer those. Sweet. So we get the Amazon. All right. So first thing in there is when we're talking about the technical of a show, right? We're talking AVL, audio, video, lighting. So first you want to make sure that you sound good. Can I hear you? Everybody's not going to sound the same, but you do, especially in this age, because we're doing a lot of virtual events, a lot of digital stuff. You want to make sure that you can hear what everybody is saying. You want to make sure that they're at an even level, that one person is not super louder than the other. And I kind of go over that as we bring in another guest. You'll be able to see the differences of me actually mixing the audio to make sure we're at the same level. So next up is always video. So down below, you do see the audio. You do, down below, I have highlighted and again, if you're on the YouTube side, feel free to come over to the Amazon Live side if you want to see what's actually in the carousel. I'm going to pull it up on the screen though. This particular microphone that I'm using is the PM320. It is by Mayono. This is one of the microphones I've been using pretty consistently for a while now. I've actually passed 3 months. Look at that. See? Perfect. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to point out every time I mess up. So in this particular instance, what I did was I didn't check my buttons. I didn't check my buttons or my hotkeys on my Stream Deck before we went live. So in this instance, what happened is that my screens, I swapped where my actual software is. And so when I swapped it, I didn't make sure that I was actually showing where my Amazon screen would show up. So it showed you my desktop and the behind the scenes. So now I got to go in here and fix this. All right, sweet. So now when I hit the button, boom, there we go. And it's live. So there we go. See, every single time you got to point out all the little things. And then what you do is during the show, you make sure you have pen and paper and you take notes. You take notes of where you made a mistake, where something went wrong or anything like that. So pay attention to those things so that you can always do those things better. Super duper important. And so right now, as we talk about this real quick, before I go to this microphone, right? One of the huge things that you have to think about in this is there's a huge difference between you live streaming your own event, you live streaming your own show. This is my show. So if I mess it up, it's my fault. And it is what it is, because guess what? It's mine. So I don't have anybody to answer to when I mess it up. You feel what I'm saying? And so that is where we are. When you're doing it for other people, there's a whole different set of circumstances. So let me see. I think we got our guest on the line. Let me get my things in. I'm going to actually pull them in. All right. What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hey, see, look, Here we go, guys. We're talking about checking your setup. You know what I did? I didn't turn my earphones on. It was coming out of my speaker, so you probably just heard an echo. I was telling about everything I did wrong leading up to this particular to going live. So what's going on? I'm gonna throw you on screen so you could introduce yourself. This is my special guest today, Fernando Vargas. I'm gonna put you full screen so you can tell him a little about yourself, man.
Good afternoon, or good evening, good morning, depending on the internets are out there that follow Mr. Chris Giles. Chris and I met on a social platform called Facebook. It's a very small group. Probably never heard of it. It's called Facebook. But within that Facebook, during COVID, we got together, not knowing how, but there's another support group. And within that support group, what people like to do is just join, and think they're going to get benefits from it just by joining. What Chris and I did together and how we crossed paths is that we were engaging, we were adding content, we were adding to the page. So doing so, he saw something, I saw something, we connected, and I reached offline, we continued from there. So doing that, I realized Chris offers a lot of great content support. He offers a lot of resources support, and overall, he's just a great guy. Doing so, I need this guy on my team. I need him to get me to push a couple of clients. I need Chris's support system to close clients. In doing so, I found out Chris is great at digital, at media, at SEO, at church. He is good at everything. So with the blessing of Chris, here we are. I think like 6 months later, our relationship has grown. I'm Fernando Vargas. I am the content owner operator of Florida Digital Center. I did some travel many years. Now I'm back in Florida, where I would like to concentrate and build the emerging industry that we have here in Florida. As of 2019, the Better Business Bureau of Florida says that 66% of small businesses is the workforce here in Florida. So 66% of the workforce here in Florida are ran by small businesses. Every state to state, the small businesses changes and the definitions of that. But that means that a small business is employing people. So how can I help out these small businesses? And definitely during COVID, a lot of small businesses came out. A lot of these businesses went from a hobby idea to want to do a business, but they skip a few things in the middle. So that's where I want to come in. Florida Digital Center want to give you some digital support on the front end and the back end. You may know what to do and how to sell on the front end for your customers, but are you set up on the back end to take on those requests? So with FloridaDigitalCenter.com, we want to make sure that we're your support system, we're your automated system on the back end, run the campaign, give you the keys, and you go on your way running a great business. So my name is Fernando Vargas, and thank you for joining us today.
Hey, so what you're saying is, are you running for? That sounded like you're running for campaign. Are you running for some sort of office or something, man? That was like really polished, like you almost practiced this thing, man.
There is nothing in front of me but 2 monitors, not the 15 that you have. But I would say during COVID, the many meetings that I've had and the many conversations we had offline kind of geared on what people fail to do. So I want to market, but before you market, what brand do you want to sell? Who is this brand you want to introduce to people? What is this brand you want people to see you as? So it took me some time. It took me a client list to realize, oh, wait, I can now call myself a business development manager. I can now call myself an owner. I can now, because I was kind of ashamed of what I was doing because it wasn't really hitting the plateau. I was paying bills. I was putting food on the table. I was meeting everything I could do at home, but I still was ashamed to say I do this because of my education. But now that I've got the confidence, I've gotten those free COVID educations, those paid educations that I took advantage of. And now I could say that I'm skilled and qualified to take on new clients, not problems, but clients' requests. And a lot of these clients' requests are not really big problems because they're problems to them because they're unaware on how to fix them. And I hope that I can assist them with their requests. And it could be something simple as Google listing, an email campaign, as why is my image blown out on Facebook, but it's perfect on Instagram? Well, because there's different sizing for different platforms. Why, so forth. So I will now, Fernando Vargas, owner operator of Florida Digital Center, is calling myself and really pushing those words out there.
Yeah, that's so deep, man. Question for you, because I know part of this we got into a conversation. We were specifically talking about live streaming, and so and real quick for everybody just jumping in, if it's your first time, man, I appreciate you guys. You're watching Tech Talk with Chris. I'm Chris. I have my man Fernando Vargas here. He's the first guest on my show, Tech Talk with Chris. I just want you guys to know that. Like, I don't even know if you do that.
Is this rated? Is this rated G or is
this is rated
unscripted?
PG for the Amazon
PG,
Live crew.
PG like in the 90s or like PG's like right now where you can say the B word on TV?
Let's go. Let's go PG 98.
So to be honest and to be transparent,
yeah,
I broke down on Saturday morning, roughly around 12 o'clock, and I called Chris and I said, Chris, I dropped the ball. I didn't fumble. I dropped the ball. I didn't recover. I didn't do anything. I was online for a client and no sound came out. And he gave me his shoulders and sound came on YouTube, but sound didn't come on Facebook. And he was perplexed because I've done multiple lives with him, without him on different platforms. He was confused because I've done this already. But for some reason, every platform changes. Sometimes you don't update the platform or you don't update your computer and there's some miscommunication on what's going on. And you've done a lot of times and you forget a certain step. And then when you don't have a mic or you include your headphones, you're like he did today. He forgot to reroute the audio. The audio went from his headphones, you heard my echo, instead of going into the system. So doing so, there is a checklist that I may or may not have gone through and I effed up. And it really, really took out my confidence on what did I do wrong, Chris? Because Chris, can you showcase your cover photo? Can we see what it looks like?
Oh,
because
let me see.
Because there's different levels of going live stream and there's different levels of producing content for a client or for yourself. You could have a mobile setup where it's just one monitor or two things and a couple platforms, or you could do a industry style production setup the way Chris has, and hopefully you could bring it up right here. And I knew what I was doing, but something failed in the area, and I'm trying to figure out what happened. And then that's where we are Wednesday, F up Wednesdays. And thank you for allowing me to be the first client.
Thank you for being.
Because right now this is social therapy for me.
That's funny. Hold on, let me see if this is. Is this the one? Is that the one you're looking for? This graphic?
The one, the photo that's on your Facebook of when you did my wedding.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Let me go find that.
So again, knowing Chris branded himself as the tech guy, as the tech professional, as the industry leader. So doing so, I say, Chris, I need your help for 2 hours. Can you help me live stream my wedding for people outside the state and outside the country? So he was able to do it because it's a walk through the park. I supplied the cameras, I supplied the links, I already met him halfway. He just needs to approve the guest list. In doing so, people from Colombia, people from Canada, people from 4 states, people from London came off a different time zone, and this guy maximized all 6 of his monitors. And knowing your system, knowing the platform is a big difference. A system and the platform are 2 separate communications. Facebook is a platform, but Facebook does not allow a lot of third-party systems. So you got to make sure that each system is capable to run on a Facebook platform. The difference, I think my mishap was, is that Chris uses a software built into his computer that speaks through Facebook. I had a third-party system that tried to speak to a platform, and I think there was no communication with that. And I think that's the reason why there's no sound going on. Knowing how the platform works and knowing how your system works definitely gives you the opportunity to troubleshoot on the fly. And that's where I failed. I was unable to troubleshoot because I thought everything worked out. But definitely that's one of the biggest things to know your platform and the system, or the system you're using and the platform you're trying to talk to. That's definitely a big thing, man.
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
A big thing.
Absolutely. I think it's the picture you were talking about, right?
This is the guy you want to hire, and this is the person you want to use, and this is the company that you want to say it did my business. If this person doesn't come out like this, no. You can't hire a person and they're going to operate everything off of the phone. It's not going to work. You want somebody who takes their craft as serious as he did. This is the way this is how my wedding was able to do what it did, and everything worked out well. He even have a notepad, like that's so let's walk through this setup stage right here.
Yep.
So I called you and I said I would like to do a Facebook Live, and wanted to do Zoom. You said no, this is the best way to do it. So I had a wish list. Chris scrubbed that wish list and say, if you want to do this, these are the best ways to walk out through that channel.
Yeah.
So I gave him everything. I had a few cameras. My phone was a camera. My phone was used as a line. And then he fed everything through, and everything worked out well. Everything worked out perfectly because he knew his system. And him knowing his system, he was allowed to manipulate the platform all the way through. And me, the client, also in the industry, knew how to maximize the potential. And it just worked out flawlessly. But what was your question for you? What was your production setup?
Yep.
And what was your connection setup?
Yeah, for sure, man.
So as far as production gear and then your connection.
Yep, for sure. So first, quick, let me give a shout out. What's up, Monty? My man Monty in the chat. What's going on? If you guys are watching on Amazon Live, make sure you check out anybody jumps in my chat with the blue check mark. They are a streamer on Amazon Live. If they're in my chat, they're my friend. Make sure you go check them out. Appreciate you stopping in, Monty. Gilbert.
Sounds like a Goodfellas thing.
Bro. These my people. If they come in my chat, they my people.
Remember that scene in the Goodfellas? He's a friend of a friend.
Yep. That's a throwback. Thanks. Now I'm going to have to go watch it again. Gilbert jumped in too, said, hey, if I'm doing the face live, but my question is what lights to use, microphone, etc. Help, please, and thank you. Quick thing for you, Gilbert. I'm going to go through, because Fernando just asked a bunch of questions about the setup I'm using specifically. So we'll be touching on a bunch of those products. On the Amazon Live side, if you guys look down below the video, there's a carousel. Everything in that carousel are the products that I use or recommend for your live stream setup, from your camera to your microphone to your lights. They're right in there. And then we're going to touch on some of them right now as we go into it. So go back to your question, Fernando. You said what was the setup that I was using, as well as the connection? Is that what it's...
Your connection? Yeah. So what gear you use and how'd you connect the gear?
Yeah. So for this is the biggest part. So one of the great things is, like, I got lucky, right? Because Fernando's in the industry, so he understands. He's a photographer, video, like he understands what it's supposed to look like. So I got lucky on that sense, where he was able to set up the cameras in a way that we can actually see what was going on, right? You don't always get lucky like that, because again, I'm running this completely virtual. He's in Florida. I'm in North Carolina. I'm sitting in my basketball shorts while he's at his wedding. So the biggest thing is one, internet speed. Honestly, in this specific instance at the wedding, it's internet speed. I'm doing I got the gig internet, so that day checking, I'm probably doing 800 download, 500 upload. So I'm making sure that I can connect and I can touch all the buttons and get everybody in and out quickly without worrying about dropping the internet speed. So number one, connection is key in this virtual space, man. If we're going through setup, again, I won't talk about the camera because I wasn't on video per se, but the computer that I use is down in the chat, using an Alienware computer that, again, it's about power, it's about RAM, that kind of stuff that gets that stream going. And again, like Fernando said, making sure that you know what you're doing with the software. Like, I ain't gonna lie, before Fernando jumped on this particular stream, I was like, man, it's been a while since I've done an interview personally. Is he gonna jump in this thing late? This ain't nothing gonna work. It's gonna be off the chain. I don't know, but guess what? It works because the system, man, the systems work. Specifically to answer your question, Gilbert, about the lighting, I'm gonna highlight it down in the chat below. They're called the Pixel G1s. So if you're looking right now at my setup, let me jump to full screen for me real quick. So if you're looking at my setup right now, you'll see the light on me So I have two that are bouncing off the wall, and then I have two behind me that are coloring the back wall. So that's what I'm using as far as lighting. They're about $70 each, and so I got four total. But that was a better pricing for me than trying to buy a bunch of $100 packs and all that. And microphone. First item in the carousel you'll check out is the microphone that I use. Boom. XLR mic. It's actually pretty dope because it's a $75 microphone on sale right now for $55. A Mayono specific. They did sponsor me, so I have the microphone for free. But I swapped it out for a $200 microphone that I paid for and was using. So I'm super excited about how it sounds, and you can hear me. So if it sounds good to you, then you know. So appreciate that. Everybody's just jumping in. Make sure you can drop your questions in the chat. We're talking everything tech and streaming on here. I got Fernando in here where we're talking about some of his experiences with live streaming and client work. And so we just want to make sure that we answer any of your questions that you drop in. Fernando, man, what else you got on your mind, about the live streaming? I know that wedding day, like you said, you were happy about that, right? Did you, before we went into that, what was your thoughts?
Before we get into, because again, someone in the industry, let's take it back a little bit. One of the important thing is setup, and then once the setup is done, then you want to practice. Not like AI, you really want to practice. And doing so, we had a run through that night of. Everything worked out well. We had people comment. So not only had a run through with me and my devices I was using, we also had a run through with the guests, because we had so if everybody done the Zoom and you had a grid search. So what I wanted was, I wanted people to watch it on Facebook, but I also want to have a virtual attendance where people will see me get married and also see people sitting down with me in attendance. So you have two different viewers. So those guests who are virtually, we all did a walkthrough, which is one of the important things. A lot of people don't do a walkthrough. A lot of people don't practice their actual setup. That worked out well. Day of, I failed to get the Wi-Fi password for the location, which is one thing. Day of, I failed to assign someone to do the technology part, because I was a groom. I was the AV tech, and all before my bride came out in 10 minutes. So within that 10 minutes, I try to do as much as I can, which I should have just given the tech support to somebody else, and I was just the groom. So not knowing the Wi-Fi did slow things up, and that's pretty much the biggest downfall, was the Wi-Fi. Other than that, I knew what I needed to do. I borrowed someone else's phone, hooked it up on one camera, borrowed someone else's another phone, called in, hooked another camera, and we had two cameras. So knowing what I wanted out of it, knowing the production practice we did the night before, I knew how to troubleshoot on the fly, and it worked out pretty well, and we live streamed tremendously. Not only did we live stream, we had someone who virtually came on as in attendance, and she played her violin, and it was flawless, So she came in, she played her violin throughout the hotel. It ran through his system, and it came out flawlessly through Facebook. So like just knowing what we can do and have the walkthrough with the clients, myself, and the guests is what helped out a lot. So not only did you meet my expectations, but you no disrespect, you overseen my expectation that I had. I knew it was going to be flawless, but I didn't think it was going to come out like this production style, because it's just how good can it get, and it really came out really nice, and I'm happy, and that's why. What gear did you use? And that's why I asked you, what gear did you use? So the gear that you have definitely gives you the outcome that you want. And sometimes you don't use the right gear, you don't get the outcome you want. And that's pretty much a big reason why a lot of things fail.
Yeah, look, man, that's so true. Like, I was laughing because one of the things, you were talking about it earlier when you were talking about your client thing. Before you came on, I was telling everybody, I was like, the difference between me doing this live stream. Before you got on, I probably made 7-10 mistakes live. Like I did all kinds of craziness. Like I wasn't ready, like all that kind of stuff, right? So I actually was like, hey, look, but the difference is this is my show. So who do I have to answer to? It's just me. So I mess up, I laugh
Yes.
about it, I move on. You don't like it, you don't have to watch. How important it is when it comes to clients is like, look, you gotta have that there's a step up that you gotta do because it's not you could be fired. Like you gotta think about that kind of thing. Real quick, shout out Bashar, what's going on? How you doing today? Appreciate it. Gilbert, appreciate the follow. Again, hey, if you're watching on Amazon Live side, make sure you guys hit that follow button. If you hover over the video, follow appears in the top left. If you're on mobile, tap the video one time and it appears right down below the video. Amazon, say hello to your cousins over at YouTube, watching over there. What's going on? Trying to make this thing. We're showing you guys all of this. Let's see.
Speaking of, is there a way for you to have a playlist or YouTube, or because you go through Amazon? So unlike the music restrictions on YouTube, is there any music restrictions on Amazon?
Uh, Not technically yet. They don't
Oh,
have the
because you're a
system in
D.
place. They
Only
don't have the
because
system in place to kick it off, basically.
so you could have a live stream playlist technically.
Oh yeah, all day. But I mean, I got royalty free music anyway. So see, boom, boom, just drop that in there. Oh man, like what about the music? I got royalty free music. I'm not worried about that. I pay for my music, all of that. What's going? Felipe said, "Hey, I have a question. How does the voice changer sound? Depends on which voice changer you're looking at. If you look down at the end of the carousel, you'll see the Go XLR, which has some cool voice effects on there. So I definitely would check that out. Also the Mayonocaster, that's about $100, which I really recommend. I got one of those hiding around here somewhere. Boom, just like that. Get one of hold up. Boom, get one of those.
Can't get a Vanna White thing, a little show and sell. Have one
Yeah.
of these.
Just put it up. What's up, Lexi? Appreciate the follow. Appreciate you stopping in. Gilbert said, "Hey, I love the color of your lights, but I couldn't catch what the lights were. Let me highlight them. I highlighted them in the carousel down for you below, so you should be able to catch it now, Gilbert. Those lights, they are white. They do I forgot the technical term, but when they have the little amber in it, so they warm up, but they also do 360 degrees of color, so they do change. So they're not just blue. They do all the colors. They're battery powered, so you can actually unplug it, use it for. I've used them for about 4 to 6 hours by themselves. If you put them on the max, it takes a little bit of time off the life, but definitely Gilbert, anytime, man. But yeah, man, this has been great, man. I appreciate having you on the show. This is what the crazy part is. So I've been on Amazon Live since October. I've not had one guest on. Zero. The last time I've done a guest show was when I was doing all the Facebook stuff. Because when I came here, I was like, I'll just do this thing. And like, you've actually inspired me just by asking me. It's like, okay, I can take the show to another level by having guests on. And this is actually super dope.
I'm transitioning my office space and I'm transitioning my decor.
Yeah.
So, what in your current shopping cart do you recommend for me?
For you?
Now, there's two parts. So there's
Yep.
one. Not everybody needs to have the same setup as Chris.
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
put that there. And then the second part, you want to have something that's unique to you.
Yep.
Besides the storage and some fairy lights and like a fake camera and the camera in the background that you see a lot of people do. Let me get that YouTube setup, please. A YouTube starter kit. So as a person who does weekly meetings, person who is project managing at this executive level, what should my background look like?
For sure. Depends on the field you're going for. Like as you can see, for me, I'm a gamer at heart, so that's really why I went to LEDs. But the cool thing I liked about these is because you can change the color. So the blue, I can leave it blue, and it still be. I do professional Zoom calls with the blue going all day. You want to do something crazy, you're gonna do something wild. Like, okay, change one, change the other, do the pink, the red, do the you can brighten it up. So that's usually on the simple side. That's definitely what I do. Artwork, as y'all can see in my background, the simple little posters and all that. One of the main reasons that I got the particular camera setup I got is so that it didn't matter what I had in the background.
because your depth of field is
Yeah, because when I'm here, you can't see anything in the background. It's all blurred. Like I'm actually thinking about swapping these pictures out and getting some shelves and putting up some cool. Because I'm jumping out of the before
logo.
the last time we did a live stream together. We were doing what were we doing before? Marketing. Everything for me was
Yeah,
marketing,
it
and
was marketing. We were doing website audits. We'll go through
yeah,
other websites and see what house cleaning that needed to be done.
yep. And so like, man, I'm out of that game. Like, if well, only websites I'm working on are mine. So I'm out here in this space like, I'm just creating content, playing video games. Like, man, let's. I'm about to put up some shelves and throw up some Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something. I don't know, something crazy. Take me back to my childhood, right? So, but that's
Now, for first, I did not receive a link to the Amazon. I have the link to YouTube, but I didn't see the link for Amazon. I would love to see that. If you could show me that link, 'cause I want to promote that as well too. I want
yep
to share
for
that.
sure. Hey, you real quick. It's easy. Tech talk with Chris. Dot live.
That live.
Dot
That
live.
live. All right.
Dot live. Gilbert saying your sound's getting bad, like double voices. Is it like two different people talking, or because I
Tech
don't?
Talk.
I'm about to say I have my ears. Tech talk with Chris. Dot live. That'll bring you right to the Amazon page. You're not here to echo in your ears, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's weird. Not sure.
Not at all. Tech Talk with Chris. That live. Okay, so I have that coming up. My another question added with gear. Um, what have you? I guess beginning of COVID to now. What have you updated? What have you swapped out, and what have you kept in rotation?
Yo, honestly, the biggest change that I made in COVID was switching to this camera. That was the biggest thing that I changed. If you guys look down below, I had the C920 Logitech like webcam. I actually have it right here. So if you see it right there, it's actually on still. But I'm using this as a backup camera now. But I had this camera, and the biggest thing for me is that when I was doing these Zoom calls, uh, when I'm doing these Zoom calls, I'm the tech guy, right? I can't look like everybody else. That's honest. That's the honest truth. Is that when I'm talking to people, um, people are like, "Man, what's your camera?" That's the first question every single time. They're like, "What camera are you using?" And I'm like, "Oh, Sony A6100, right?" And they're like, "Oh man, that's like crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, because I need to look different than you look because I need you to want my service. I want you to go. I want to look like you. I want my stream to look like your stream,
AKA branding.
bro, bro." I mean, all the cool little. What's going on, Adam? Appreciate you jumping in the chat. He said no echo for him. Yeah, Gilbert, I'm not sure, man. I monitored it and I couldn't hear echo. Weird, weird. You don't have two windows. This is gonna be a crazy question. You don't got two windows open with the same video in it because I've definitely done that before. And couldn't figure out why. I was chasing all the windows like, um,
Oh
yeah.
man.
But that's definitely the biggest thing. The biggest thing was the camera itself. The computer, all that I already had because I was into gaming anyway. So that was like the easy part. Like, oh, I can already do this. Um, now,
Now, before you go to the second conversation,
yeah.
let's debunk all rumors. How much better is your production work because you're using a Windows operating system?
I'm more defensive about that. The reason I like the Windows system that I'm using is because of the software. The software I'm using is Windows only, so I like vMix. I actually, and it's funny, this is going to be the craziest thing you'll ever hear. I don't actually recommend vMix to anybody because most people that are asking me are not professional. Like, they're not professional AV techs. Like, they don't do events, right? vMix is built for, to me, in my opinion, the layout. The reason it's easy for me is because that's who it's built for. That's crazy. I
So
know that's
so
crazy
so
to say
so,
out
so
loud.
to dumb it down, if you're a videographer and you're a photographer and you're starting up, iMovie has great products that you can use. You don't need Final Cut Pro. You don't need Adobe Premiere because that's a different stage. If you're starting off, your clients don't have the budget to give you the stress to learn Final Cut Pro, to learn Adobe Premiere. Stick with iPhoto edit software and stick with iMovie, and that gives you enough of color correction. It gives you enough of editing power, and stick to that. Don't learn something new if your clients are not paying you to learn new stress.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
to put that out there. The stress you get determines on the budget your client's going to give you. If the budget's here, iMovie and iPhoto offers enough to
Right.
get the job done without doing some layering and all type of stuff. So, like you said, VMAX, it's great, but you may not be the person that, it may not be you to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out my man Dr. Elo. What's going on, bro? Appreciate you stopping in on the YouTube side. My man Monty said, truth, vMix and Wirecast are awesome, but definitely not for the beginner. Absolutely true. Absolutely.
Repeating
that's
twice.
Yeah, we got past that because Adam and them said that they didn't hear echo. So, and I monitored it. I didn't hear echo. I listened to the actual stream. I didn't hear it. So that's when I was joking about, do you have two windows on? But yeah, if we're talking free, man, I'm going OBS. OBS is free. It's there's not much free in this world that I'll recommend, right? Just because I'm a you get what you pay for kind of guy. Like, I just feel that way about most things in life. And OBS is not one of those.
Definitely have to invest. You got to invest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. But like, OBS is a free software that I actually think that they are way beyond their value when it comes to that. Absolutely.
So my only counter to that is I'm not brand loyal, so I tend to hop around.
Yep.
Because I use this product and they're in the early stages. So I'm only paying like $15 a month, which is one of the cheapest out there in that space. Paying that cheap is at their pro level. So any new additions they have, I'm already locked into pro level, because right now current pro levels is $50 to $100 a month. So I'm growing with this platform, and it's like the stock market. You know, the earlier you get on a product, the higher return you get. So that's only the difference I could say. But again, it's not a software; it's a system. So for what I do, it offers enough. But I may need to invest because I dropped the ball on Saturday. So I'm going to have to spend that money and go. So I'm going to have to book you, Chris, to give me a one-on-one sessions, because talking to you is not free.
Oh no, bro! It gets expensive. It starts adding up. Not just to pay me, but to buy all the equipment I'm gonna tell you to get. Oh man! Oh, for everybody, you guys just stopping in, you wonder what you're watching. You're live with Tech Talk with Chris. We're here on Amazon Live. We got YouTube popping today. I'm here live with my man Fernando Vargas. We're just talking about live streaming, the things that you need to make sure of before you go live, the things to think about when you're going live. We haven't even talked about what to do after you go live, because we've just been like in those little things about getting it right. So if you're just jumping in, it's your first time, please make sure you hit that follow button. If you're on the YouTube side, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we appreciate all of that. Man, this has been a good conversation, bro.
It has.
Every time we talk, man, you make me go, we got to do it again.
I just put it on. So it's on LinkedIn. I promoted it on LinkedIn. I promoted it on Facebook. And now I'm promoting it on my Twitter campaign, because this is something new for me on this side. Because I've done I've been the interviewer, not the interviewee.
Yep.
So I definitely want to, because my mishap, my failure is, one thing is, in this industry, you have to accept failure, and you have to put away the ego and learn with the punches. So I got beat up a lot today. So now I'm able to come on and sit on your tech couch and get some relief and know what gear I'm going to need moving forward.
Hey, I love that. Look, I'm writing that down. I like that term, tech couch. Come sit on my tech couch. That's great. Bro, let me ask you this.
Talk with Chris.
Random question, because I'm looking, because your quality to me is actually, I like it. Like, I'm trying to figure, what camera are you using? You're not using like just your laptop camera, are you? Are you really?
I am. So right now, just to be more transparent, I'm using. So there's two things adding to this as a photographer.
Yeah.
One, I pick the closest corner with there's lighting, which is one. So I already have the outside lighting coming in, which is great. So that's that. And then I have my great $15 lamp that adds a little ring to it, but it has
Bro.
color tone. It has color tone, so now I know what color tone to use. That's giving me my. So this is without light. This is with light,
Bro.
and then with this light, it gives me the components here, and I'm just using my FaceTime camera off of my MacBook Pro.
Bro. So this is what I need you guys to pay attention to what just happened there. I was actually surprised with the quality because I was like, "There's no way he's just using a web like his little camera off the laptop." But this shows why lighting is so important. Like I know we say AVL and we go audio, video, lighting, but video and lighting are like this. Like you got the best camera in the world, but if the camera can't see what it's looking at, it doesn't matter, right? Bro, like, yeah, hey, you've impressed me. I've been on a lot of Zoom calls today, and everybody's
This is it.
bro, that's $15. You guys paying attention to this?
This is it.
Yo,
This is it. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. But I wanted to use my whole setup and my camera, my microphone, my audio. You know what? If I have this gear in front of me, then I'm going to forget what I need to talk about. Since I have no gear in front of me, I want to talk about new gear that I need to get. So I already set up my mental that I need to be a client of yours. I need to be a customer of yours. And I need to start clicking your Amazon and start buying some stuff because I need help.
yeah,
I need tech support. I need tech support here. So 1-800 call Chris, and then he'll give you some real life tech support.
hold on.
So
Let me see if that's available. I need to go find that. I'm gonna call some other random Chris. Like, hey, we just watched your Amazon live stream. You gonna help us? Poor guy's like,
that's it.
the poor
That's
schmuck's
it.
like, what? Who's Chris? Yo, that's hilarious, bro.
But yeah, it gets real. It gets really real out there. Other than that, the follow-up question I do have as far as Amazon is, wow, up to 25 people. That's really, is that consistent 25 people or overall 25 people?
No, that's who's watching right now.
Good stuff. So I am going to add some shelf on the back end. I am going to add some figurines on the back end as well too, and then my lighting. So with your lighting, how static is that? Because I know you have like two light sources. Are you changing it with some gel or LEDs or anything?
No, straight LED.
Okay.
Let me see. We'll highlight it again in the carousel. You'll be able to see it. And then I'm gonna show you. Hold on, I'm gonna switch cameras. It might mute you for a second. So. Yeah, my bad. I'm trying. I can't hear. So that's it. That's what they look like. I literally have them bouncing off the wall, and it's bouncing back at me. There's my camera. That's it, bro.
That's it. Okay. All right. Now, you found out what works and you stuck to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, since I'm more mobile, I need something smaller to go for. Okay.
No, those things are tiny, dude. Those
Okay.
lights are tiny. They fit in your back pocket. They're so small.
Really?
That's why I liked them, because in my head I was like, I told myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go vlog and stuff, right? I mean, I didn't, but they, they come with all the adapters and everything. I could take my 6100 down, slap them on top, and I can go vlog if I wanted. I can do my own shots. Like, they're portable. That is a huge reason why I wanted them, because of the size. The video I saw that the guy advertised, and it wasn't even these. This is what makes it even funnier. I was watching their live stream. They were talking about, he was like, hey, you're ever on the road and you need a live stream where you need to shoot a video, here's how you make your hotel room look cool. And he literally just had one of these lights. He put it on a little stand and shot it against the wall and put the lamp in front of him. The video, it changed the whole look of the video. So I'm looking for it. He goes on live, and it was like Black Friday. We go on the Black Friday sale, And there's this other company that's selling the same exact, looks like the same exact thing for half the price. They were like $140 for the ones he wanted. These are 60.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was like, man, I need to buy these and try them. I was like, well, I'll buy them and try them. They were on sale from, Black Friday or whatever. Bought 4, man, and I've loved them. Loved them. Ha, my man Monty said, I got him over here wanting to modify my setup. Bro, first of all, let me tell you about this guy, because you've never seen his setup. If you ever watched, I did a video with him before when we were doing the Facebook stuff. I actually have it on my YouTube channel. He's the YouTube guy. He's who got me on Amazon Live. I got into his YouTube coaching course to grow my YouTube class. He's like, hey, you should check out Amazon Live. Or no, he didn't even say go check it out. He's like, there's this cool thing called Amazon Live. And I'm like, oh, really? Let me go see. And I jumped on. But this dude's got like 5 RoboCams in his studio. He's like, hold on, let me show you this. And he like moves out of the way. He's got his remote like zooming in on the ant sitting on top of his screen. And he's like, oh, you got me wanting to modify my setup. Bro, I'm still trying to catch up, man. So if you're watching and you sell RoboCams, PTZ cams, whatever term you want to call your cameras, and you're looking for somebody to talk about them, I'm your guy. That's how we do this here. Oh,
That's
bro.
it.
Bro.
So continue on and piggybacking off what he is. He is a teacher.
Yep.
He is an instructor, and that's what he is. So
yeah.
he needs that setup.
Absolutely.
He needs that because you don't know who your next client's going to be.
Absolutely.
And if someone wants to have a setup, your setup can't be this, and then yours, and then his. You have to be set up for the things that you want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
And in reality.
Yeah.
So I think my level of my client list is really at the beginning, people where they just want to go from an idea stage into a moving product, and to go from moving product A, B, C. And then from now they have to move a product for a couple months. They want to increase that value. You go to Chris.
Yep.
Hey, Chris, I had this camera. I had this lighting. It's not really doing what I need to do. What am I doing wrong?
Yep.
And then go from there. I want to do a whole production setup. You talk to a homie over there with the robo cameras, and he teach you how to do some black.
We get Monty in the game and go, hey, bro. We need some PTZs,
the black and drapes.
Some stuff coded. We need all this. Bro.
You need a Cat 5 or Cat 12.
Yeah.
You got some fibers rolling in, and then that's a different story.
Yep. Oh, you going over 300 feet? We need some fiber in this thing, man. Hey guys, I'm talking about it's a cable. It's not fiber, that you eat. Just want to make sure we're on the same page, everybody. Bro, man, it's about that time, man. I appreciate you. What you got, man? You got any closing remarks, closing thoughts? Like, what you got?
I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come on your tech couch and express my failures. Now I know what to do, how to improve my next live situation. So this Tech Talk with Chris has been informative. The transparency of your knowledge has I'm gathering those fruits, and I'm gonna eat those fruits later on, and hopefully I do see some return investment on this. So do appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go through the carousel and see what I could pick up and what can I change up, and I do see some stuff. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Drop your one thing. A lot of people don't take advantage of their Google listing. Google listing is really important. So if you have a Google business listing, drop it. Get those reviews. Major important.
Yeah, super duper dope, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you. And if you can hang for a second, I just want to chat with you offline when I get this stopped, man. I appreciate you.
Go ahead.
Lexi said, thank you. Appreciate you stopping out. Everybody, we appreciate you guys. It was so great having a guest. This is my first guest on Tech Talk Live, or Tech Talk with Chris.live. Again, if you go to that link, that brings you right to the Amazon Live page. So if you were on the YouTube side or anywhere else watching this and you're wondering what products we were talking about, go to that link. That'll show you those. We're here every day, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you check it out. Hit that follow button before you leave. Hit the like and subscribe on the YouTube side. We'll see you guys on the flip side. And see, we're talking about being prepared. The one-man show, man. I never have the in-stream button in my hand. I always got to go find it. It's so crazy. But yeah, I see you guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Catch you tomorrow.